In the south of Spain, there was a small village whose people were very joyful. The children played under the shades of trees in the gardens of their homes. A shepherd boy named Nasir stayed near the village with his family. Each morning, he took his herd of goats up the hills to graze. In the afternoon, Nasir would return with his goats to the village. Each night, his grandmother would tell him a story about the stars, which fascinated him. One day, while watching his herd and playing his flute, Nasir saw a wonderful light behind a flower bush. Approaching the bush, Nasir discovered a transparent and beautiful crystal ball, glittering like a rainbow. He carefully took it in his hand and heard a weak voice from the ball, saying it could fulfill any wish his heart desired. Nasir was astonished by the voice and, though he had many wishes, he couldn't decide on one. He thought he would remember more wishes by the next day. He put the crystal ball in a bag and returned to the village, deciding to keep it a secret. The next day, Nasir still couldn't decide on a wish because he felt he had everything he needed. Days passed, and though he hadn't made a wish, he seemed more cheerful, puzzling those around him. One day, a boy followed Nasir and his herd, hiding behind a tree. Nasir sat in a corner, took out the crystal ball, and looked at it. When Nasir fell asleep, the boy seized the opportunity, took the crystal ball, and ran away. When he arrived at the village, he called all the people and showed them the crystal ball. The citizens took the crystal ball in their hands and turned it around with surprise. Suddenly, they heard a voice from inside the crystal ball, which said, "I can fulfill your wish." One person took the ball and screamed, "I want one bag full of gold." Another took the ball and said loudly, "I want 2 chests full of jewelry." Some wished for their own palace with a grand door made from pure gold, instead of their old houses. All their wishes were fulfilled, but still the citizens of the village were not happy. They were jealous because the person that had a palace had no gold, and the person that had the gold had no palace. For this reason, the citizens were angry and stopped speaking to each other. The gardens in the village where children used to play were no more. There were palaces and gold everywhere. The children became terribly unhappy. Only Nasir and his family were happy and contented. Every morning and afternoon, he would play the flute. One day, the children of the village took the crystal ball to Nasir. The children said to Nasir, "When we had a small village, we all were happy and joyful." The parents also spoke, "In one way or another, all of us are unhappy." When Nasir saw that the people were really regretful, he said, "Even though the crystal ball asked me to wish for something, I have not done it so far. But if you really want everything to return to its own place, then I will wish for it." Everyone happily agreed. Nasir took the crystal ball in his hand, turned it around, and wished that the village would become the same as it was before. In a moment, the palaces disappeared, the green gardens appeared, and the same old village full of trees was there. Once again, the people started to live happily, and the children played under the shade of trees. Nasir continued his contented life every day, playing his flute at sunset. Its sweet sound was heard throughout the beautiful green village. Moral: we should be happy with whatever we have and not be greedy.